So what sort of things would you advise people to do actually at home then? I mean, if they had, just say they had no equipment, is there anything they can do just to keep themselves active?
Yeah, so squat a lot.
Okay.
I would never advise someone not to squat, obviously, unless they have an injury which would prevent them to do so. So sitting down and standing up. Now,
so literally squatting is sitting down and standing up.
Yeah, it's just sitting down to your chair and standing back up. Now, if you can do that without the guidance of a chair, and you can do it while controlling your own body mass, then absolutely.
Perfect.
I'll send over some demo videos of some movements to you.
That'd be great. Yeah, I could actually include them.
And you're more than welcome to put them out. Things like lunges, things that obviously challenge your balance and stability a little more. So you're taking that squat and applying it to one leg. As well as like things to so generally like movement patterns that we'll cover. So like the squat, which is, we've kind of spoken about, like a hinge, so like a deadlift where we're picking something up off the floor. So really anything, like you can set up literally anything to pick it up off the floor.
So that's what a can of beans, and to put it into basics. Yeah.
Just thinking about other things like your shopping, like when you go and get your weekly shopping. Or your
climbing the stairs. I suppose climbing the stairs is another one. You know, just going up and down the stairs.
Yeah. So, and that's where like you gain like the cardiovascular aspect. Things like running up and down the stairs and jumping jacks and jumping up and down off the floor, like off the ground, and really like anything. So anything where you can get like a little bit out of breath, or you can feel like a little bit of tiredness. So things like push-ups, upright rows with any object, just really anything where you can push, pull, squat, or hinge are going to be things that give you like an adequate like stimulus to.
So why is it important then to be out of breath, and why is it important to be tired? You know, why is it important you do these things in order to get to that stage?
So your relative, so like when we talk about relative intensity, that's what pushes like our fitness on. So in terms of like getting results, so like your fat loss or getting stronger or getting fitter, like they require that stimulus. So in order for us to do that, like if you want to improve your cardiovascular, we need to get to a point where we're out of breath and we're challenging the set areas of our body that we're looking to work.
I suppose it's like teaching your body then to actually, wait a minute, I've got to grow this muscle. I've got to grow this. I've got to grow these nerve endings or these systems in order to get more oxygen in order to support what this person's trying to do. Is that kind of in a layman's terms? Is that kind of what it would be?
Yeah, to pretty much cover it in the simplest term, that's absolutely right. So it like in the realms of CrossFit, we have like a triangle of, and it's a base of like where you're like of how we structure.
Well, I saw that on your website, and I think I could show that. Yeah, so I'll show that. Yeah.
So at the base of our triangle is absolutely nutrition. Nutrition will always be at the base of that, and that's how we.
So why is nutrition important?
So good quality diet helps us fight infections, keeps our weight right, so that we're not at risk of those common diseases of things like cardiac arrest, all those like chronic like illnesses like that are body composition related.
So is it as simple as then taking making sure you get the necessary fibre from foods, making sure they get the necessary proteins, making sure they get the necessary vitamins, or is there a more complicated process?
So in terms of like if we look at like the world's like health as a whole, so like 80% of those chronic illnesses, your heart disease, cardiac disease, like all of those things, 80% of like what the NHS spends money on is based around those, which are all things that can be managed by your diet.
Wow.
And really, like, if we had a massive push of like people being educated in nutrition, like generally we would cut down the spending that's required by the NHS.
So is it simple as eating your 5 veg and fruit a day?
So just eating the right quantities of food. So like in terms to like elicit like fat loss, we just talk about eating like the right amount of food.
Yeah.
So eat when you're hungry, and not because you want to eat. Eat within the realms of like performance. So that's what I'm saying. Like eat because you're hungry, as opposed to just eating for the sake of eating.
Boredom.
And then in terms of like what your diet should be made up of, like generally across the board, like a high protein diet is king. So why is that? Because protein leaves you a little bit fuller for longer. It gives you all the nutrients required for you to look after, like to feed your look after your muscles, as well as it being slightly harder to break down. So boost your metabolism up slightly. Stay away from kind of like refined carbohydrates. So good quality carbohydrates, great, but
what would be good quality and what would be refined? What would give examples of that?
So good quality carbohydrates, potatoes, pasta, rice, generally things that come out of the ground.
Yeah.
Refined carbohydrates like sugary snacks and all that jazz, like
all the things we love.
All the things that we love right now. Absolutely. And then eating them in the right amount. Like if people are to stay in shape, like get quality of your diet right and eat the right amount. On that front, people would see like results that they wanted to see, but also they would lead like a much healthier lifestyle. So that's like at the very base of that pyramid. Hi there, Fraser from Functional Fitness in St Andrews here. Here's my top 5 exercises you can add into your exercise every day, which will keep you on top of your fitness while in lockdown.